Active shooter incidents, knife attacks, vehicle ramming events. These tragic situations are no longer rare occurrences that only happen to other organizations. They're happening at workplaces, schools, places of worship, healthcare facilities, retail stores, and office buildings across the country with increasing frequency. If you lead any organization where employees, customers, students, patients, or the public gather, you need to understand that you face this risk. And you need to know whether you're financially protected if such an event occurs. Here's what most organizational leaders don't realize. Your standard property and liability insurance policies typically exclude deadly weapon events. The Federal Terrorism Risk Insurance Act, TRIA, only covers events that meet narrow federal certification criteria, and most active shooter and deadly weapon incidents don't qualify. That means if a deadly weapon event occurs at your location, you could face catastrophic financial exposure with no insurance coverage. Beyond the immeasurable human tragedy, there are significant financial consequences. Liability claims from injured parties, property damage, crisis management costs, counseling services for traumatized employees and others, funeral expenses, business interruption, and the costs of recovering your organization's operations and reputation. Deadly weapon protection insurance is specialized coverage designed specifically to protect organizations against these events and provide the comprehensive financial and support resources you need if tragedy strikes. Deadly weapon protection insurance is remarkably comprehensive. It addresses both the financial and human needs that organizations face after a deadly weapon event. The coverage includes third-party liability protection with defense costs for claims filed by injured parties against your organization. Limits are available up to $30 million per deadly weapon event and $75 million in the policy aggregate. Property damage coverage is included as a standard feature. And here's what's unique. Coverage can be triggered even without property damage. The event itself, not the type of damage, determines coverage. But what makes this coverage truly comprehensive are the human-focused benefits. Accidental death and dismemberment coverage for victims. Medical expense coverage for injured parties. Funeral expenses to support victims' families during the most difficult time. Counseling services for traumatized employees, customers, students, or anyone affected by the event. Crisis management services are included both before and after an event. Before an event, you get access to crisis risk services to help your organization prepare, develop response plans, and train staff. After an event, professional crisis management helps you respond effectively, manage communications with stakeholders and media, support affected individuals, and begin the recovery process. The policy also includes circumstance coverage, which means coverage can be triggered by the brandishing of a weapon or simply by a threatening circumstance, even without actual injury or property damage. If a credible threat forces you to evacuate, lock down, or close your facility, this coverage responds to protect the financial losses and costs you incur. Several features make deadly weapon protection insurance truly market-leading protection. First, there's a broad definition of weapon. This isn't limited to firearms, it includes knives, vehicles used as weapons, explosives, and any object used with deadly intent. Coverage doesn't require property damage or bodily injury to trigger. The circumstance provision means even a credible threat can activate coverage. There's no minimum requirement on the number of people injured. Even if one person is affected, coverage responds. Critically, there are no exclusions around who the perpetrator is. Whether it's a current employee, former employee, customer, contractor, stranger, or anyone else, coverage applies. This is essential because workplace violence can come from various sources. There's no vehicle exclusion, which is important given the increasing frequency of vehicle ramming attacks. With reasonable premiums and retentions as low as $10,000, this coverage is accessible and affordable for organizations of all sizes. The policy acts as primary insurance, meaning it responds first before your other policies. And it's written on a pay-on-behalf basis, so your organization doesn't need to pay expenses up front and wait for reimbursement. The insurance company pays directly, which is crucial when you're dealing with crisis response and need to focus on your people and operations, not insurance paperwork. Deadly weapon protection insurance is available for organizations across all industries. While certain sectors have particularly elevated exposure, healthcare facilities, schools, places of worship, retail operations, large offices, stadiums, and transport hubs, the reality is that every organization faces this risk. Active shooter and deadly weapon events are happening across all organization types and locations. The financial protection this coverage provides is essential, but what often matters most to organizational leaders are the human elements. After a deadly weapon event, your people, employees, customers, students, patients, community members need support. They need counseling services to process trauma. Victims and their families need immediate medical and funeral expense support. Your organization needs professional crisis management to respond compassionately and effectively. This insurance provides all of that. It's not just a financial safety net, it's comprehensive support that helps your organization protect your people, fulfill your responsibilities to victims and their families, manage the crisis professionally, and ultimately heal and recover. Most importantly, the pre-event crisis risk services help you prepare before anything happens. You get access to professional guidance on developing response plans, training staff, implementing security measures, and creating the preparedness that could potentially save lives. If your organization hasn't addressed deadly weapon protection, now is the time. Don't assume your current insurance policies cover these events. Most don't. Contact your insurance agent today and ask specifically about deadly weapon protection insurance. Explain your operations, the number of employees, the public interaction you have, and your current security and preparedness measures. Get a quote for coverage that includes liability protection, property damage, medical and funeral expenses, counseling services, and crisis management support. With reasonable premiums, retentions as low as $10,000, and a broad appetite across all industries, this protection is accessible for organizations of all sizes. The question isn't whether you can afford this coverage, it's whether you can afford to be without it when every day we see news of another deadly weapon event affecting an organization that thought it wouldn't happen to them. Your organization's most important asset is your people, employees, customers, students, patients, community members. Deadly weapon protection insurance provides comprehensive financial and support resources to protect them and help your organization respond, recover, and heal if tragedy strikes. Don't wait. Contact your insurance agent today and ensure your organization has the deadly weapon protection it needs. Your people deserve nothing less.